At the forefront of the digital world, there is a prophet and a mentor who leads us to explore this ever-changing world with his unique perspective and profound thinking. He is Kevin Kelly, affectionately called KK, and he is the founding editor-in-chief of Wired magazine. Before founding Wired, he was editor and publisher of Whole Earth Catalog magazine, Steve Jobs' favorite magazine. In 1984, KK initiated the first Hackers Conference. His articles have also appeared in heavyweight media and magazines such as The New York Times, The Economist, Time, and Science. Kevin Kelly is seen as a spokesperson and observer of cyberculture and is also known as a maverick. He is a famous internet prophet, known as the Godfather of the Internet, father of Silicon Valley spirit, and technology prophet. He initiated the world's first hacker conference, and his works were included in the reading list of the director of the movie, The Matrix. In this ever-changing world, it is difficult for people to predict what happened in the future, but surprisingly, KK accurately predicted the arrival of the Internet era. As early as 1994, Kevin Kelly predicted many of today's hot technologies in out-of-control cloud computing, the Internet of Things, online communities, virtual reality, the sharing economy, virtual currencies, etc. He also explored in depth their far-reaching impacts on society, economy, and culture. Over the next 2 decades, these predictions have come true one by one. He firmly believes that artificial intelligence will lead us into a new era, an era driven by intelligence and dominated by data. His achievements and contributions lie not only in the establishment and development of the magazine, but also in his in-depth research and unique insights into future technologies. In 1994, Kevin Kelly published his legendary book, Out of Control, which predicted the future development of science and technology. In 2010, the Chinese version of Out of Control caused a sensation in the Chinese internet community and science and technology media. Although Out of Control was published nearly 20 years later than the original work, it coincided with the good time of China's internet development. With the rise of domestic technology giants and people's increasing attention to internet technology, the popularity Out of Control has increased year by year, and Kevin Kelly has been invited to China to talk with technology giants more and more frequently. Among them, the most famous one was the conversation between Mahotan and Kevin Kelly in 2012. In that conversation, with the theme of out of control and control, exploring the essence of the internet, the two discussed and exchanged views on 7 issues, including control, monopoly, and privacy. Kevin Kelly's views that internet monopoly is temporary and personalized services require the surrender of privacy can be said to have rescued Ma Huateng, who was deeply mired in accusations of monopoly and privacy infringement at the time. Since then, Kevin Kelly has visited China many times, and the organizer's introduction to him has gradually changed from the author of Out of Control to the father of the world's internet, the prophet of technology and business, the spiritual godfather of Silicon Valley, and other titles full of marketing flavor. Kevin Kelly's insights are not only based on profound insights and rich experience, but also reflect a deep understanding and forward-looking thinking of the future world. His thoughts and predictions provide us with a framework for understanding and responding to the rapid changes in today's society. We do not dare to block the eyes of one leaf, and today is only to throw a brick to attract jade, so that we can enter the world of wisdom of the father of the spirit of Silicon Valley. If you are not falling down occasionally, you are just coasting. Learn how to learn from those you disagree with, or even offend you. See if you can find the truth in what they believe. Don't be afraid to ask a question that may sound stupid, because 99% of the time, everyone else is thinking of the same question and is too embarrassed to ask it. Being enthusiastic is worth 25 IQ points. Gratitude will unlock all other virtues and is something you can get better at. Treating a person to a meal never fails and is so easy to do. It's powerful with old friends and a great way to make new friends. Don't believe there's a cure-all. Pros are just amateurs who know how to gracefully recover from their mistakes. Extraordinary claims should require extraordinary evidence to be believed. Don't be the smartest person in the room. Hang out with and learn from people smarter than yourself. Even better, find smart people who will disagree with you. Rule of 3 in conversation. To get to the real reason, ask a person to go deeper than what they just said. Then again, and once more. The third time's answer is close to the truth. Don't be the best. Be the only. Don't take it personally when someone turns you down. Assume they are like you, busy, occupied, distracted. Try again later. It's amazing how often a second try works. The purpose of a habit is to remove that action from self-negotiation. You no longer expend energy deciding whether to do it. You just do it. Good habits can range from telling the truth to flossing. Promptness is a sign of respect. Optimize your generosity. No one on their deathbed has ever regretted giving too much away. Always make something good. Just do it. To make something great, just redo it, redo it, redo it. The secret to making fine things is in remaking them. Putting oneself in one's shoes is the way to deal with people. It is the cornerstone of all other virtues. Saving money and investing money are both good habits. Small amounts of money invested regularly for many decades without deliberation is one path to wealth. Show up. Keep showing up. Somebody successful said, 99% of success is just showing up. Perhaps the most counterintuitive truth of the universe is that the more you give to others, the more you'll get. Understanding this is the beginning of wisdom. Hatred is a curse that does not affect the hated. It only poisons the hater. Release a grudge as if it was a poison. There is no best, only better. Individual talents may vary, but regardless of their level, self-improvement is endless. When any big project, fixing a house, making a movie, developing an app, is 90% complete, be prepared for the amount of detail work that remains to take up the same amount of time as before. When you die, you take absolutely nothing with you, except your reputation. When crisis and disaster strike, don't waste them. No problems, no progress. When you are invited to do something at some point in the future, ask yourself, if this thing were to start tomorrow, would you accept? The vast majority of invitations fail this urgency test. Don't agree to any requests or offers over the phone. The so-called urgency is nothing more than an illusion. Over the long term, the future is decided by optimists. To be an optimist, you don't have to ignore all the many problems we create. You just have to imagine improving our capacity to solve problems. Repeating others is a great place to start. Repeating yourself is a disappointing end. If winning becomes too important in a game, change the rules to make it more fun. Changing rules can become the new game. When negotiating, don't aim for a bigger piece of the pie. Aim to create a bigger pie. Don't wait for the storm to pass. Dance in the rain. What you do on your bad days, matters more than what you do on your good days. You are as big as the things that make you angry. There are 3 abilities you must have. The ability to never give up on something until you know it will work. The ability to give up on something when you know it won't work. And the ability to trust someone who can help you distinguish between the two. The advantage of a ridiculously ambitious goal is that it sets the bar very high, so even in failure it may be a success measured by the ordinary. The only productive way to answer, "What should I do now?" is to first tackle the question of, "Who should I become?" For a great payoff, be especially curious about the things you are not interested in. Every breakthrough is at first laughable and ridiculous. In fact, if it did not start out laughable and ridiculous, it is not a breakthrough. The most reliable way to succeed is to define success for yourself. Shoot the arrow first, then draw a bullseye where you hit it. The value of experience is often overrated. Most breakthrough achievements are made by beginners. To get the most results, focus on your biggest opportunities, not your biggest problems. Always ask for what you want at the outset. This applies to relationships, business, and life. The measure of wealth is not what money can buy, but what money cannot buy. The secret to greatness: become a little better each year than the last, year after year. When you replace transactional relationships with healthy ones, life becomes better. Keep at least one thing in your life where you don't pursue efficiency. Spend more time enjoying this thing, even if it is not your forte. This is your fun time, which will keep you young forever. Never think that you are wrong to do this. Do not use the word "you" in an internal quarrel. There are no compliments in an argument, so words with "you" are accusatory. There are no compliments in an argument, so words with "you" are accusatory and only worsen the emotional conflict. Trust is built bit by bit, but breaking trust is like a flood. If you are always honest, you will never break trust. The wise man said, "Before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. At the first gate, ask, 'Is this true?' At the second gate, ask, 'Does it need to be said?' At the third gate, ask, 'Does it come from good intentions?'" The purpose of listening is not to answer, but to hear the hidden meaning. If you don't care about your men, they won't care about your mission. Be extra stingy when you make promises, because you must be generous when you fulfill them. Speak as confidently as if you were right, and listen as carefully as if you were wrong. If you want to educate your children well, you can cut the money you are willing to spend in half, but double the time you spend with your children. Your ideal partner is not someone with whom you never disagree, but someone with whom you are happy to disagree. Don't ask your children what they learned today. Ask who they helped today. The most selfish thing you can do is to be generous. Perhaps the most counterintuitive truth in the universe is that the more you give, the more you get. Understanding this is the beginning of wisdom. It is worth reminding again and again. Think twice before you act. Tips for making smart decisions: evaluate your choices today from the perspective of 25 years from now. What will your future self think? What you do on days when things are bad is much more important than what you do on days when things are good. The best job is one you're not qualified for, because it forces you to realize your potential. Your goal is to be able to say that the day before you die, you have fully lived out yourself. Being timely is a sign of respect. If an object is lost, 95% of the time it is within a short distance of where you last saw it. Search all possible locations within this radius, and you will find it. The main purpose of traveling is to let go. The more you let go, the farther you go. Don't let other people's urgency become your urgency. In fact, don't be controlled by any sense of urgency. Focus on what's important. Urgency is a tyrant. Important is king. Don't be controlled by urgency. When you're anxious about your to-do list, you can find comfort in thinking about how much you've already accomplished. Every success has a cost that cannot be measured in money. To pursue success, you must be willing to pay the cost. Use a recording device or app to interview your parents while they are still alive. Keep asking questions. You will learn amazing things. Whenever you can't choose which path to take, choose the one that will bring change. Most arguments have nothing to do with arguments, so most of the time, people can't win arguments by arguing. Give everyone a second chance, but never a third. Learn how to take a 20-minute nap with a clear conscience. To make yourself happy, you must first make yourself a useful person. Making assumptions about what has already happened is a waste of time. Making assumptions about the future is highly beneficial. Read a lot of history, and you'll understand how many strange things happened in the past. Then you won't be surprised by strange things in the future. Try once a month to take a different route home, a different door to enter your home, a different chair to eat at. Don't just follow the old ways. With everything, except love, have an exit strategy from the beginning. Be prepared for the end. Almost everything is easier to get in than to get out. Pain is always inevitable. Whether or not to be tormented by pain is a person's choice. Don't try to make people like you. Try to make them respect you. Admit, I don't know, at least once a day, and you'll become a better person. Cultivate the relationships with the 12 people who love you, because these 12 people are far more important than 12 million people liking you. Don't keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Try making new ones. When you are leading, your real task is to create more leaders, not more followers. Criticize in private, praise in public. Learning what to ignore is half the job of education. When you get to your hotel room, take a look at where the emergency exit is. It only takes a minute. Being extra polite to rude strangers is creepy. If you loan someone $20 and you never see that person again because he or she doesn't want to pay it back, then that's $20 well spent. The best way to criticize something is to create something new to replace it. The greatest rewards come from doing things that no one else can understand. If possible, do work that doesn't have a name yet. Show me your schedule and I'll tell you your priorities. Show me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you're going to be. In approximately 99% of cases, the right time is now. Ask funders for money and they give you advice, but ask for advice and they give you money. Really good opportunities are not easy to find, much less explicitly labeled.